welcome back to Minecraft Dinosaurs. I know this video is late. It's been tough, honestly, but I'm really excited to be back for today's episode. We are in the brand new version of 1.20.1, and things are looking slightly different, but more or less the same. I've had to tweak some of the shaders and some of all that to make it work for this new version, and then honestly, I've had to basically fix the world, so we're going to talk about that just a little bit later. It took me a while to do all that, and by the time I got all that done, my semester started ramping up and I had tons of assignments. I also had to deal with a lot of housing things. I've moved in 2 different apartments in the past 4 weeks, mostly just because university housing got a little bit messed up, so I'm now where I'm meant to be with my friends, so everything's good now, and I'm now able to hopefully make videos better. I just didn't have a lot of time over these past couple weeks. It was just very busy with all the moving and all of the assignments I've had to do, so hopefully we can get back into the swing of things. And today, what I really want to do is just explore some of the new updates. So I think our first trip is going to be to the Mangrove Swamp. So let's go. And we've made it. Here is the Mangrove Swamp. Let's fly down here. This is our first stop of the day, and the first thing, this is 1.19, so this is the first update that we have to explore. And honestly, this is gorgeous. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Some roots, and then we're gonna have to gather some mud. This is absolutely gorgeous. So I think I'm just gonna go find a nice spot, an open spot to just gather some mud, and hopefully we can get some of the general just resources from this area that we can take back to base. Alright, I'm back from the Mangrove Swamp, and I have a ton of mud and mangrove leaves. I've done 2 sugar boxes of mud, 1 sugar box of leaves, and I've got a couple other roots and muddy roots, just a couple other things that were there. I've also got the propagules, so that way we can grow this up and not have to go so far away. But I did go ahead and connect the Mangrove Swamp through our nether roof-like system. I don't really show it on camera much, but I just have a couple of different portals, to the stronghold and to the mesa biome, so there's just a couple up there. I've connected that all up. But now that we've done the mangrove and we have all those materials, I will start working it into our pathways, adding some packed mud. I think would be a really good texture to start adding into this. Some of the leaves I'll probably put around the forest floor to give some different variation to the leaves that are already here. I might use the roots along the river and stuff. Just tons of different applications. Definitely when we start working on the swamp biome that I've talked about, it's going to come in so handy when we start working on areas like this. And now I think it's time for our next venture, which I'm going to come down here and grab some wool. We are going to finish off the 1.19 update by going to a deep, dark, ancient city. Mostly because I want the Swift Sneak enchantment, but also, it's new. We got to go explore it. So I'm going to go try and find one now. I'm probably just going to look up the coordinates with a website or something. Try and find the coordinates of that, and I'll bring you guys back when we start going down to the deep dark. All right, there it is. I've dug down, and we're right above the ancient city. I think I'm going to tackle this by kind of just going in and kind of bridging around with wool. I think if I land properly, I don't think that there should be any shriekers near the middle. Whilst we're kind of going through, I am going to talk a little bit about what it was like updating to this new version. Mostly it just required a little bit of finessing, I would say. When I loaded into the new version for the first time, I loaded up with a backup just, because I was afraid of stuff breaking, and I'm glad I did because everything broke. Basically the chipped mod between versions, I guess, had updated what library it uses, so all of its blocks had different block IDs, and thus they didn't have when I loaded the world, they didn't load, basically. So all of the builds that we had used chipped for were just completely and utterly destroyed. There was just no blocks anywhere. And so when you do that, the builds are basically ruined. So essentially, here, we're gonna open this chest. There we go. Swift sneak a little. We can take the one, and we'll take, I don't know, we'll take the music disc. That should be it for there. But so when I loaded the world, basically everything was broken, and that's not very conducive if you want to have a series. So I tried like several different ways to like fix the world. Like obviously I tried updating one at a time. I tried doing a little bit of that, and it didn't work. Like that method didn't work. So I looked some more as to stuff I could do, and nothing was really working. And I was kind of faced with like an option of like, do I start over? Do I like, because I'll show you some pictures now. There was nothing left. There was huge gaps, and because I used them, like the pathways were all gone. The aquarium was completely ruined. There was just so much that was all wrong, and so like I was kind of like, I had to have the chip mod, and I had to have all those chip variants, so that way like we weren't starting over. But I just didn't know what to do. We'll take music disc and that. Ooh, nice. So I was just kind of faced with like what do I do? And then I kind of got an idea. I don't remember where at this point because it's been a couple weeks, but basically my idea was to go through my old world, like one of the backups, like make a copy, and then use world edit to replace all of the chip variant mob like blocks with different blocks that I don't really build with. So that's like concrete, like purple concrete, pink concrete, like stuff that I've never built out of, never will build out of. And then once I had all that like replaced, I updated the game and then replaced those placeholder blocks with their chipped variants that they were supposed to be. It wasn't perfectly one-to-one, like some of the chip variants weren't available anymore, so in a lot of those cases I either made them like a really similar chipped variant or just their basic vanilla block to kind of give them, basically the same color almost. And so that worked pretty well, and that's why our world looks like somewhat like how it's supposed to. It really sucks that I had to go through all that, and that's kind of why this video is delayed, because I went through that whole process and that took way too long, and that kind of burnt me out of like playing this, because it didn't feel like I was playing, because obviously I was using creative and like commands, and that's not how I like to play, ever. But I also didn't want to start over, so I don't really consider it cheating. I know like some of you will be like, I don't really like that he did that, but honestly I think it was much better. It was a much better option than just completely starting over, because then you guys don't get new videos. I don't get to play the world that I've spent, the first half of this, or more than half of this year playing, So overall, I think it was a good solution, and I think it worked out pretty well. So now that we have the world and all that, I think honestly, it's worked out well, and hopefully from here we can go and continue playing the world, and from here on out, it will be survival. I don't plan on ever using creative. I think that ruins the gameplay for me more than anything, and it obviously isn't great for you guys. I know you guys want to see like a survival based experiment, so that's the only time I'll probably ever use creative, unless something similar like a mod breaks or something like that. So yeah, I think overall it worked, and honestly I think we've now explored most of this ancient city. I don't really see anywhere else. Oh wait, over here. As soon as I say that, I see a new place. Okay, put these around. I'm so nervous. Swift sneak 2. I think, okay, that should be, those two will create a 2. Wait, these two will create a 2, this will create, and we can make a 3. Okay, I think we have everything we need from down here. I'm not really interested in the echo compass. Woof! Especially with now there being 3 shriekers having gone off, because I'm pretty sure the next one he comes. So we're gonna skedaddle. I have no intention of seeing the warden now or ever in this series. Um, so yeah, let's head back to the surface and head back to base. All right, we're back, so I'm just gonna combine these books and then these books, and then I should be able to just throw this on my pants, and just barely had enough levels for that, so that's good. And now we can sneak in style. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. This will be so nice when I end up building the, like, whatever we build next. Fences, this will be great. I like that. Okay, now I think we've done the big update, honestly. I think out of the two that we got, I think we've just finished up the big one with the mangrove swamp and the deep dark. But there is one more thing on our list today that I want to go ahead and go get. Obviously, I think armor trims are just something that I'll gather as the episodes go on and will make our armor look pretty. But I really want to go find a sniffer egg, mostly because I want the plants. I want to be able to build with those plants. So let's go out. I think if I just grab, I think out of here, if we get a feather, and then in my copper chest, we should have copper. And I think I keep sticks over here, hopefully. I do, and then I think we can make a brush. If I remember the recipe, it should just be that. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna fly to an ocean. I think there's one in that direction, and we're gonna go just archaeology and find a sniffer egg. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, we've gone far enough, and I think we have found a, I guess these are ocean ruins that should have, sorry. Should have something. That's coal. And that's going to be a wooden hoe, I think. And then another wooden hoe. I'm just going to break that one so I don't keep mining it. Let's try this one. And that looks like that's an iron axe. Okay. Let's see. Is there any more over here? There should be. There should be more than that, right? Oh, there's one right here. I can stand in the bubbles, hopefully, please. That's a gold nugget. All right. Well, let me just dig out a little bit. I guess, well, now that I know that we're actually in new chunks, I can go around to more over here and just keep looking for some suspicious sand. So I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll do a little montage of me just going around, finding all these ruins, and hopefully getting a sniffer egg. All right, I'm back, and here is kind of all the valuable stuff that I managed to get. I did hit a couple of jungle temples and a couple of the fossil and archaeology like temples that they've added. So I got 3 lodestones, which is actually pretty cool. I plan on kind of like using them throughout the park. I thought that was a cool idea. I got 2 armor templates. I found a pillager outpost, and in the jungle temples, I found these 2. So I think that probably next episode, between episodes or something, I will go find like specific ones that I want. I'll go make like one in one of the websites that let you like pre-make it, and then we can get some fancy armor. I also got a lot of these pottery sherds, so we can do some decorative pots in like some areas. And then I did manage to get 4 sniffer eggs. I went to so many monuments, and on the last one I just got back to back sniffer eggs. I don't know why. I guess RNG just really liked that one. So, but now we have 4. So I think in our next episode, I'm going to hatch them and probably give them like a little farm, maybe down here in this kind of area. I was thinking like maybe a sniffer plus bee and like building, so that way we can have sniffer plants and also honeycomb just kind of in this area. And it might be a good excuse to go ahead and start working on like some of the prehistoric plants that fossils gives us. So yeah, I think that's honestly been enough for today. I'm sorry this video is so short, and I'm sorry it's so late, but hopefully we can get back into the swing of videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya!